Hey Mindset Community, Dr. Ellen here, coming to you today with your next Tire Talk. So we are going back into our breathing lesson today for part 3. And today I really want you to read my shirt. I want you to be here now. Breathing is so much more than the physical act of breath. It is about being present in the moment and connecting within yourself. So by focusing on this breathing, you're not only working on your body, but you're also working on your mind and your soul. So it's really, really, really wonderful that you've taken the time to prioritize yourself with anything such as a breath, okay? So when we talked last time, we talked about diaphragm being about here, pelvic floor diaphragm being in the pelvis, and then we have our abdominal musculature and our side components in our body and even into the back, how this all is connected when we breathe, okay? So some of the things that, if you're new to breathing, I want to try different positions with your breath. We've only shown it to you in hook line, which is on your back with your knees bent. Okay, but I want to talk about a couple other positions that are not only important to use as exercises, but they're also ways to get a little bit more awareness and maybe mobility in some of the lateral or the side body tissues, and as well as into your back, which that back part of the diaphragm, since it has such a role with the hip flexors we talked about before, that can be an area that gets overlooked a lot with breath. So here's a couple tricks. So we're going to start back on that hook line position, down on your back. Okay, remember that diaphragm will lower, our abdominal area will fill with air, our lower rib cage will expand, and you should feel just a little bit of expansion into the low back. Okay, but sometimes it's really hard for people to feel this lateral piece or this side kind of body piece. So one position that we do to promote that is in rotation. So just let your knees drop over to the side and work on your breath here. I'm going to lift my arm up so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so as I breathe in, I'm going to still let my stomach fill with air, but it's going to be a little bit more of a lateral focus. So I can begin to loosen, mobilize, check in with these tissues, and see how things feel and begin to loosen and grow. Then you can really start to get an idea of this lower rib cage expansion. And you want to do both sides, so rocking your knees over to this way as well. Keep your shoulders flat on the mat. These are just wonderful, comfortable positions to do so. In addition, you're working on hip mobility. That's a great, great thing as we've talked about in previous lessons, okay? So side rocking the knees is a great place to try working on that side body. If you want to work on the back part of the diaphragm and getting the back expansion to happen, I want you to get into more like this position. And you can go ahead and hug your knees. And so what this does is it somewhat kind of blocks your ability to fill the abdomen. So your body has to figure out other places to go. So as you take that breath in, you're going to feel your stomach hit your thighs pretty quickly. But this will give you a great chance to feel that side body expansion, the back expand, and then as well, it's a really nice place to begin to feel your pelvic floor. Now, we're not looking to generate pressure, especially downward on the pelvic floor. We're looking to gain awareness. So this should just be very comfortable. There should be no pain here, okay? So we've got knee rocking number 1, this knees to chest number 2 to really feel the back expansion part. And then the last position, I usually grab a couple pillows, or if I do a foam roller, I put towels or something to pad it over the top. But since this is my garage gym, I don't have any of that here. But just know at home, we want you to have something soft here, because if your knee range of motion can tolerate it, sitting on something like this in this position is a nice way to, again, work on your breathing here as far as that belly expansion goes. But this gives a little bit of feedback to the pelvic floor. So then you can work on, when you're inhaling, have that nice softening and lowering of the pelvic floor. And then as you exhale, that return to neutral, or that slight gentle contraction into the pelvic floor. So this can also be a great position where you're not only working and getting feedback from this, but now we're a little bit working against gravity. So this can sometimes be a nice position to begin some of the training that we do for pelvic floor, where we can eventually load the area and add increased pressure into the system. Okay, so just a couple tricks as you're beginning to advance within your breath training. Let me know if you have questions. You know you can email me at any time. But we love you more than you know. Enjoy, and we'll see you next week.